Travis Wingoodsell. Okay, Stanford, let's see what you got for the Pearl of Great Price for me. October 5th on Sunday. At least that's when that's when you sent it. Okay. I already reviewed the document you submitted about the Pearl of Great Price. And so the first intro portion here is that in the first vision, for the general audience to understand this concept, Joseph Smith tells us that there's three branch-offs of Christianity, Presbyterian, Baptist, and Methodist, who are all using the exact same Bible. And yet each of those three different religions of Christianity all have a completely different interpretation of the same exact Bible passages of the King James Version of the Bible. And they're all contending against each other to try to get recruits to their religion and not the other two. That is the focus of what Joseph Smith is getting at. It has nothing to do with literal history, that there was no burned over district until later on, and that it was in a different location, and other stuff doesn't match the historical timeline, blah, 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 blah. You're going beyond the mark. Just like Joseph Smith is saying with Christians. When you start with an incorrect interpretation, you branch off from that. And the further you branch off from that interpretation, the worse and more ridiculous you sound to other people who know English and English grammar, or for child faith, whichever language you speak. I haven't gotten a reply back as to why you put a thumbs down on the video, child faith. Anyway, you're not fake, are you? Pretending to be my friend. And so, in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you have Mormons who have differing interpretations of Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon. For example, Joseph Smith history is literal history. So as a result, how do you deal with gold plates directly from the text that are 200 pounds if they were to be literal history? And so Mormon apologists came up with, they're not really gold, they're golden. So now they could be 50-pound copper plates. Then Joseph Smith can now more easily prance through the forest, escaping people trying to steal the plates and murder them, and beat him up, as the BYU movie showed he did. Showed they did. Yeah, I remember that from seminary. Oh no, they're trying to get the plates from Joseph. Trying to get them. Oh no. But wasn't he supposed to be with his wife? Where is she and all that? Where's the horse and carriage? Wasn't it just up the road? I've got questions. Exactly. This is what happens when you have a core false belief with a misinterpretation. And when you're dealing with biblical stuff, it's worse when you trust that the King James Version of the Bible is the correct version. There are some Christians who believe that the Bible is inerrant and has no errors whatsoever in it. It's the Word of God exactly as it says. So Jehovah's Witnesses, for example, yes, exactly as it is after we changed the name to Jehovah God. Now it's exactly as it was from God, Jehovah God. So everybody else who's intelligent can look at that and go, what the hell are you thinking? What the hell? What the hell? So, yeah, that's the first thing when studying scriptures you need to pay attention to. Do you know Biblical Hebrew? Do you know Greek? Do you know Egyptian? Do you know Paleo Hebrew? The answer is no. Just say you don't know. Just say you don't know. So we're, as Mormons, having to deal with the King James Version of the Bible, which is the worst translation of all translations. And Benson came out with First Presidency statement saying, we're never going to translate the Bible correctly, despite Article of Faith number 8. We don't even claim translator. Get over it. Talk with your stake president for disciplinary action. Unbelievable irony. Those opposed, please see your stake president immediately. And he smiles. He smiles. Bastard. D-Todd. D-Dodd. D-Dodd. So, with that in mind, yeah, you got it here too. Let's see what you got. And so, yes, if you want to produce the desired results of truth, you've got to have the correct seed, but you got to run the test to find out if it's true or not. There are a lot of words, even in the Bible, that have to be reviewed. And finally, I figured out that I can actually enlarge the screen of my PDF viewer. I never knew I could do this before, and I saw it the last time I was curious, and it won't show up like the page numbers. It pops in and out, and I did it. It's all blown up. I don't have to squint and look closely at it. Awesome. So yeah, learning something new every day that I should have known 10 years ago. Alright. Listening to my review of the Doctrine and Covenants, he was inspired, became immediately curious about the title of the Pearl of Great Prize, published in 1852 by Franklin Richards, under, I was in the mission. It was revised, I think, yeah, obviously I didn't keep reading when I did my preliminary review when I saw that. You already knew. Of course you already knew. It was revised in 1880 and canonized that year with John Taylor serving as prophet and president of the church. That was also the year he died, too, wasn't it? Hopefully I won't be frozen. We might have to put frozen in the death metal version of it. The theme song below, if that's the case. John Taylor, LDS. Oh, 1887. Okay. So, yeah, that's when he became president of the church. 10th of October. Ooh, 2 more days. Ooh, is that when Oaks is planning on becoming King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the great high priest? Ooh, I should have checked on the Pearl of Great Prize while I was doing it. Oh, is that what you've got going? Friday? Really, Oaks? You don't worry about the curse of Joseph Smith at all, do you? Are you sure? Are you sure? Originally published in 1851. That is what you said, though, wasn't it? Oh, you have 52. Okay. The Wikipedia is saying 51 in Liverpool. Fascinating. Okay, so canonized in 1880 by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Stanford knows how hilarious that is, because it was February 1851 when it was established. February 6th, for the state of Deseret, from Governor of the Territory of Utah, Brigham Young. See, here they're, oh my God, guys, oh my God. This is what happens when you start with an incorrect belief and then you expand upon it. Pearl of Great Price contains documents that have a large impact on beliefs, teachings, and theology of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For example, it provides a basis in text for the practice of gathering a passible God. Passable? So passion. A passionate God rather than a not real museon. Premortal existence, and a text that was used to justify a ban on Black Latter-day Saints practicing in temple and priesthood rituals. From 1852 to 1978, temple and priesthood policies in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints prohibited both black men and women from temple ordinances and ordination and all that. The First Presidency declared in official declaration number 2. So, teachings, maybe. Brigham Young taught it was true eternal principle Lord Almighty had ordained. 1949, George Albert Smith officially stated it was not a matter of declaration of policy but of direct commandment of the Lord. Second First Presidency statement by McKay in 1969 re-emphasized that this seemingly discrimination, you mean racism, by the church towards blacks, you're using the corrupted form of the Latin, which is the racist form when you don't pronounce it correctly, is not something which originated with man, but goes back into the beginning with God. Spencer W. Kimball emphasized in 1973, yeah, I showed you that one over the weekend, didn't I? Conferences of conference past, thumbnails of conference past. Nor my policy is the Lord's policy is established. Donald H. Oakes in 88. Oops, have we got another one for you? Are you sure you want to do it on Friday? Are you sure? Are you sure, Oakes? Are you sure? I don't know that it's possible to distinguish between policy and doctrine in a church that believes in continuing revelations and sustains its leader as a prophet when they're not authorized. I'm not sure I could justify the difference in doctrine and policy in that fact that before 1978, a person could not hold the priesthood and after 1978, they can hold the priesthood. Please make it a conference talk. Please. The Times News, Associated Press. Please be the link to the article. Please. One of 3 free articles. Is that the full article? Please tell me I can. Oh, I can. Bad boy, what you gonna do? New policy, occasions, church comments. The question is that the only page? Doesn't seem to indicate if that's the full one. Let's see if sharing does anything. Copy. Okay. So paste. That just sent me right back. So apparently that is the full article with Oaks ending short. Sure. Okay. Whatever. Is there anything more? No. Okay. Whatever. I'm not seeing where they're getting it from in the Pearl of Great Price, though. I'm aware of what people think. They're all wrong. Start of the band. Yeah, baptisms for the dead, yeah. Well, Danite process. Taylor, I'm not saying it. You can't just say something and you gotta actually give me the reference. Because I can go over with it and show you how Joseph Smith was really talking about it. Yeah, I'm not finding it. I'm not. But that's not why we're here. This is a tangent. Book of Abraham was canonized in 1880. It just doesn't tell us when, if it was before or after John Taylor became president. Community of Christ doesn't accept it, even though it was published in the Times and Seasons. But that was run by the Danites, so that's probably why. The book contains several doctrines that are distinct to Mormonism, such as the concept of God organizing eternal, pre-existing elements to create the universe instead of creating it creatio ex nihilo. Thought to be lost in the Great Chicago Fire in 1871. 1966. Archives of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. They found the Joseph Smith Papyri. Criticism from Egyptologists who don't know how to translate. Mormon apologists who branch off from the incorrect interpretation of the Egyptologists. rather than trusting Joseph Smith. Okay, so the 1851 version contained extracts from the prophecy of Enoch, message from God given to Moses, untitled from Moses 2 and Moses 8. So he didn't do the full Moses thing that we have. He just selected parts of it. Book of Abraham with facsimiles 1, 2, and 3. Joseph Smith Matthew, the key to the revelations of St. John, which is section 77. Revelation of Prophecy 87. Joseph Smith's History, which would have been the Times and Seasons version in 1842, unless it was the forger version, who then went on to forge Lucy Mack's version. Doctrine and Covenants 20 and 71 to 75 concerning baptism. And then more from section 20. Lord's Supper from section 20. Duties of elders, priests, teachers, and deacons from section 20 and 107. On priesthood, section 107. He does not put in section 90 or verses 91 and 92. Oh, no. Oh, he skips it. See here, he does the duties of the 12, he does the duties of the 70. He does not put in verse 22. He does not put in verses 91 and 92. He skips them. Dear God. Section 27. And then back to section 20 about the rise of the Church of Jesus Christ. Did he actually put the rise of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints from section 20? Has anybody actually read that? It does not say the rise of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Dear God. And then the Articles of Faith. And then the poem by John Jacques. Oh, say what is truth is the last and the first and the last, and the signs of the heavens for the last tabernacles. Fascinating how that worked. So the 1878 edition, prepared by Orson Pratt, committee finalizing preparations for publication, consisting of Franklin D. Richards, Albert Carrington, Brigham Young Jr., George Q. Cannon. The edition added portions of Joseph Smith's translation to the Book of Moses that he didn't have access to in 1851. Drawing on the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints publication of the inspired version of the Holy Scriptures. So it was never intended to be a translation. It was Brigham Young who called it a translation. The revelation on the eternity of the marriage covenant, including plural wives, was also added in 78. Wait. Wait a minute, are you now claiming that the 1876 edition of the Doctrine and Covenants, which I have, does not include section 132, which replaced Joseph Smith's monogamy? What is going on here? Am I still recording or am I frozen? I am still recording. Fascinating. This was the version of the Pearl of Great Price that was canonized by vote in 1880. When in 1880? They won't tell us, which means it was before he became president. When you cover up the date or the time, right, Nelson? I mean, Oaks? 1902 was prepared by James E. Talmage. 1921, James E. Talmage improved, adding an index and putting in the text in double column format. Right before the corporation of the no longer existent religion. Let's see. Expanding on the Joseph Smith history, which I'm willing to bet he had the tampered version. New editions of the Book of Mormon and Doctrine and Covenants were also prepared and began to be printed together as a triple combination. Okay, so the triple combination was 1921. 1976, Visions of the Celestial Kingdom. Bruce R. McConkie, who married into the family. Okay. So section 137, 138, 1979. The 1981 edition. Triple combination. Scriptures Publication Committee, which I was a part of the revision group for the 2013 standard works. Minor changes. There were other major changes. You guys just refused to publish them because Ballard wasn't dead yet. And he's dead, and then they still aren't doing anything about it. Bruce R. McConkie recommended putting back in the Lectures on Faith after Heber J. Grant took it out. James E. Talmage, technically. Interesting. It did not pass. Huh? Did not pass. Summary of approved adjustments. The 2013 edition in a PDF, PDF version. Alright. So they would not give me the answer I was looking for, but we found some pearls of great price. Alright. So the question, what is the pearl referred to in the book's title? Obviously it's from chapter 13. And this is what I think it was answering in the preliminary part. This was not a pre-murder Joseph Smith Jr. final product. Why did these men call it the Pearl of Great Price? What were Franklin D. Richards and John Taylor up to? Supposedly comes from the parable. But did either of these two men understand Matthew's parable or context or teachings? Let's check something here. Since it was Franklin Richards out in Liverpool with them Beatles. Richards. Yes. No, we don't want the youngin'. Franklin Dewey Richards. Served on a mission, Great Britain. Married Jane Snyder. You should have been a polygamous husband. So who are the other names of your wives? Not saying he was. Spouses 11, including Jane S. Richards. Who are the other 11? That's what I want to know. That will be made clear when I find out the answer. Okay. Susan and Laura, Josephine. Let's get the full list here. I know AI couldn't figure it out. Oh, God. Go away! All these cookie things. I don't want cookies. I got my own cookies from Dreams, and Cook, or not Cook, Gong may have found out about it already. Okay. Jane, Sarah, Charlotte, Susan, Laura, Josephine, Nancy Taylor, Groundhog Day, Mary, Susanna, Rhoda. Nope, that didn't explain it. That did not explain it. So let's check John Taylor then. Plural wives of John Taylor. John Taylor, family man. Is that what you want to call him? LDS Church finally releases an 1886 John Taylor June 17th, 2025. So that was just recently. This is Salt Lake Tribune. They'll demand that I pay them in order to read it. Let's see what is here. Taylor rejected any such concession. Polygamy, he believed, was an eternal law. He and a handful of other authorities secretly continued to solemnize plural unions. And the young apostle was sealed to 3 additional wives. It's not the answer I'm looking for. So let's see if the Wikipedia page itself gives us a list of his wives. No, I am not donating. Get it out of here. Family, there we go. There's a list of wives. Leonora, that's a lovely name. Elizabeth, Jane, Marianne, Sophia, Harry, Margaret Young. There we go. There we go. Was a member of the inaugural General Presidency of the Young Ladies National Mutual Improvement Association, now the Young Women Organization of the Church of Christ, 1880 to 1887. She was one of the plural wives. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So she was born 1837. She died 3rd May 1919. So when did she marry him? She's a 9-cow wife. 9 children. She converted in 1852. Interesting. So Ebenezer Russell Young. It's a different Young family. So 15 years of age is when she converted. Oh my God. She received her education at the Young Ladies Seminary and became a school teacher in Westport when she became 18. She met John Taylor while he was serving as president of the Eastern States Mission. When was he president of the Eastern States Mission? Mission president. 1849. He traveled. This just gets creepy. She was 12. But apparently didn't marry him until September 27th, 1856. Oh my God. She was 19, which was still jailbait for that time period. So, now let me explain why I was searching for a Margaret. In Greek, Pearl is Margaret. Baby name meaning. Ta-da! So yeah, he likes those 12-year-old girls. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just creepy. Oh my God. So there you go, there's your answer. Because it all has to do with polygamy. For the celestial kingdom, the kingdom of heaven. That's their thinking of it. Oh my God. This is just creepy. The Margaret of great price. He has to pay for her. She's a prostitute. As a 12-year-old girl. Oh my God. So yes, if I were to do the real interpretation of Matthew chapter 13 in the context of the pearl of great price, it has to do with Zion, and you already know all that information, Stanford. I need to breathe. I'm in trouble breathing. But that's it. That's the reason.